In September 26, 2020, the Last Stand team updated Left 4 Dead 2 to restore Bill's smoking cigarette particle effect. In Left 4 Dead 2's blog post, it states, hold on, lit Bill's cigarette. This was something that already existed in Left 4 Dead 1. However, in Left 4 Dead 2's case, the only way to enable Bill's smoke was if modders manually added it in with their own models. Interestingly, the effect is disabled whenever Bill dies. So, what's the difference with this compared to the old style of the smoke effect, and can us modders use this for our own mods? When making a mod that used the smoke particle, the first thing modders would do is add a cigarette attachment for their character. Attachments are used to place things like where a medkit is, or where their holster is. Next, modders would have to find the name of the particle they wanted to use. To do this, they open up the particle editor and look for anything related to cigarette. This particle, cigarette smoke, is the one Bill uses. Finally, they use a key value, which calls a particle to be used. In this case, they'll use the cigarette smoke particle, which will follow our cigarette attachment, giving us the smoke for our character. After compiling, the model's finished. For this test, I will be using the maskless spy mod that replaces Nick. And nothing. This is the same way how other modders added their smoking effect to other characters, but after the Last Stand, it's almost as if it was disabled. Huh. But when Nick dies, the smoking effect works? What's going on here? Why are things flip-flopped? This commentary dummy actually has the particle, but it's very faint and hard to see. So something definitely has changed, so why don't we try a different particle and see if that makes a difference. Back in the particle editor. This time, I tried to look for something that would make it easier for me to see the particle. Thankfully, I found just that. Cigarette Smoke B. The smoke's a tad different, but it also has this nice cherry light included. This was perfect in case the particle was hiding like the last one. So all I need to do here is to just simply update the key value. And it works! This is what I assume is why Bill never got his smoke particle way back when. When a survivor dies, the particles stay in place of the previous animation. Meanwhile, the dead body also has its own particle, making it two separate particles in one area. This means that, for example, if the survivor ragdolled on their death, and that ragdoll was launched far away, not only would there be smoke floating in the air where that survivor died, but the dead body of that survivor would also have that smoke effect far, far away. So Bill's smoke disappearing upon death is not only intentional, but it appears to be hard-coded in the game. So what happens if you mod Bill into a new character and you don't want him to use the smoking particle? Well, it turns out that if you have any older Bill mods before the Last Stand update, there's a good chance that they have floating smoke particles on them. Take for instance, Bob. Although it is difficult to see, as the particle is inside his head, smoke is indeed seeping out of him. This is something that can easily be fixed by just removing a single line. In Bill's QC file, either comment out or delete Bill's cigarette attachment file, and the smoke particle will be gone. So in conclusion, it's still possible to give other survivors a smoking particle by just using a different one. However, the particle will break whenever the survivor dies, which was how it was back before the Last Stand lit Bill's cig. Bill's smoking particle itself has been unchanged. However, the Last Stand team made the game recognize that if Bill has a cigarette attachment, then it will automatically give him the particle as long as he's alive. If the particle itself is used on other survivors, then it will ignore the other survivors and not give them the smoke. And finally, you can remove the particle for Bill by removing the cigarette attachment. Hope you found this somewhat interesting.